Hello and welcome back to Baker Brews. For those of you that are new here, my name is Donna, and here on this channel we chat about homesteading in the city, and I share a ton of our family adventures. Our most recent adventure that I want to share with you guys is some party inspiration because I love a good theme party. If you have been following our channel for a while, we have done a Star Wars themed baby shower. We have done outer space themed birthday parties. So we definitely hit the mark with like some outer space kind of stuff. So when friends asked me to help plan their baby shower, I felt like this theme was absolutely them, but also a little bit of me because it's very space themed. If you are familiar with the show Firefly, it is all about outer space. So this was a very easy theme for me to jump on board with, to get into, and to have the inspiration from previous parties behind in order to make it come to life. I want to give you guys a little backstory. So the friends that we helped organize and coordinate the decor for this event, they're having and welcoming their first baby girl, but they did not want the classic pink, all pink baby girl theme. So I thought, you know what? This would be a really cool theme because they are actually planning to name their baby from a character in the show Firefly. And they were telling people this. So, all the family knew in advance that the name was inspired by this show, but it gave us a great reason to rewatch the show. If you haven't seen it, it's just one season and it's a really fun show. It's very nostalgic for me. Because rewatching the show, I got to really get into it and see all the little things, the little nuances that maybe I would have missed had I not actually been watching the show in advance. But I'm going to walk you guys through the little things that I loved and that came together so well for this baby shower. This was at a community hall, so I wanted to have as much of the space feeling like a spaceship or in that space theme as I could, so we could get that really great vibe going. And an easy way to do that, honestly, is with a bunch of balloons. You can't go wrong with balloons. Balloons are great at taking up a lot of space, but they also add a lot of that color or that vibe that you're looking for in an area. So we had a balloon arch, but I ended up turning it, kind of looks like a balloon column after we filled it all up and draped it from a stairwell that was there. And then we also ended up buying these really great stands off of Amazon, and you fill like a plastic ring with balloons, and you just slide it over the stand. They were so easy. I don't know why I hadn't invested in these before, because we throw a lot of parties and we use a lot of balloons in our house. So these are really cool. I definitely can see us using them again. I was looking for some simple inspiration to make things feel kind of spaceshipy without taking up a lot of space. So I liked this idea that I saw of these heart helium-filled balloons just on a single string. And I liked the look of that. I thought it was really simple, but it looked really classy and it still gave like that cute vibe. And then we chose, like I said, the silver hearts to go with the metallic-y, spaceshipy theme. In this show, Firefly, the character that is the inspiration behind this is Kaylee, the mechanic. So she fixes the ship, and there are some cute things that Kaylee does and says in the show, some little things like she greets the guests or tries to get people onto the ship. They're trying to get passengers on their ship, and she's sitting, on a chair out front with like there's like some Chinese inspiration behind the show. So she's in like a Chinese kind of outfit, and she has this parasol that is a swirl of white, green, red, and yellow. And I spent forever trying to find this parasol in particular. Couldn't find it. Was like, do I DIY this? Which you totally could. But instead, I thought of a much simpler idea, which was just to get my kids to color pictures of umbrellas using those colors. And then we cut them out, we hung them up, and it looked so good. And it was just a great way to like have that umbrella aspect without actually getting the umbrella. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. We wanted to really hone in on the mechanic character, Kaylee, because she is the inspiration. So some little things about this character was that she really likes strawberries. She accepted a strawberry from the shepherd, and that was his payment in order to board the spaceship Serenity and travel with them. She also wears a lot of like little Asian pieces. There is some Asian inspiration behind the show, so we wanted to have some little Asian pieces. Her room is decorated on the spaceship with little fairy lights and loves really frilly things. So to tie in those things from that character for the food table, like we served strawberries and there was this lovely strawberry cream cheese dip. We also had some little parasols in the food. And then I had a little Chinese lanterns, around the area as well as in the entranceway. We also had some fairy lights in mason jars. And I had my oldest in this really cute Chinese piece that was actually mine when I was a kid. So it was really nostalgic to pull it out, and he really liked it. So I was really happy he was eager to wear it and greet people and welcome them aboard the spaceship Serenity in that little outfit, just to kind of pull the theme together and really give that vibe that you're being welcomed aboard the Serenity.
They're not there.
To go with the spaceship theme, we wanted to have it mostly with silver and black, like space and metallic-y. This is also kind of an interesting show where it has a cowboy element. They go to different planets, and it is very Western kind of style. So I found, the stuffed horse that my kids play with. So like I said, they go to some like Western themed planets, and then there's also a reference to the ice planets. So we also did the drink station, more like Ice Planet kind of theme, where my kids made coffee filters, crumpled them into balls and colored them and made like ice balls. We also have a really cool ice maker for drinks, and it makes perfect circles. So I just made a whole bunch of perfect circles and put them on a serving tray so you could like get your ice ball and put it in your drinks. And then we also did some DIY. We had them as backup piñatas, and they are just giant stars. So we took cardboard and we crafted it into a star shape and spray painted it silver, and they were just really nice like background decor. And like I said, we had a bunch of silver balloons. And to tie the whole space theme together, it's not complete without something 3D printed. I'm so happy that so many of my friends have a 3D printer. So we got one of them to print us a 3D model of the spaceship Serenity. And I thought that was just so cool. It just really added a really neat dynamic to have that spaceship on display. And then we gave it to our friends as a gift. I knew there were going to be kids at this party, but not very many. So I had a kids station set up where we had a dinosaur theme because one of the characters, Wash, who is the pilot, plays with his toy dinosaurs as he's sitting on the ship right in the first episode. So it's a great reason to pull out those old dinosaurs, and we had them out there for the kids, and it just fit the theme so well. To bring the theme more to life, I also printed out some quotes from the show itself that I thought were really iconic and put them strategically in certain areas, like the one where Kaylee talks about the buffet table. I had that over by the food. And then we had the welcome aboard the spaceship Serenity at the entrance. And it's one of Kaylee's famous lines where she asks Shepard if he is able to pay in order to get on. And then we had these really cool spiky balloons, which I thought were really neat, kind of star-shaped, and they looked really neat as well. To give some of that frilly element, because Kaylee really likes the frilly things. She goes after this really frilly dress in one episode. And so I got these really neat white streamers, and it's such a simple thing. You just tape the streamer at the top and then hang it down. And then when you twist it, it gives it this really nice effect, and it's a really filling effect. It just looks, I think, a little less tacky. It looks a little bit more modern. And so we did that with some streamers as well. And I really liked the look that it created. Another simple idea that I had to go with the space theme was I have some wrapping paper that I hung, and I just put a huge area of it because I knew this was going to be a big event with lots of people, and obviously everyone's going to want to take pictures. I created a photo station, so just so that you had that nice background area. So we just literally hung wrapping paper and used that as a photo backdrop. With the balloons, I wanted to say that I used what I had as weights. I was going to go and buy weights or like get rocks or something, but I have a whole bunch of these swing top bottles, and I had these water beads, which are the little beads that you add water to and they expand. So I ended up filling a bunch of jars with those and putting those as the weights, and they just added that little pop of color that I think was really sweet, but it was still very subtle for this event. A lot of my inspiration actually came from a website that I wanted to mention, and it's Tikkido, Tikkido.com. And she did a Firefly, Space Cowboy, and Serenity 10th birthday party theme post for her daughter. And I loved it. She had so many great ideas, from like themed invitations to the handmade hats, and I loved the idea of a glitter tattoo station. I thought that would have been really fun. If we had more kids, I think that definitely would have been something I would have tried to push for a little bit more. But just very simple things like the labels on the juice and the fairy lights around. And they did hand color some white parasols to match the theme, which I thought was very smart, and it looked really, really cute. Overall, I am so happy with how the theme turned out, considering a lot of the people coming didn't know what the theme was or that there was going to be a theme. Obviously, we were all just there to celebrate, welcome, and be excited that there was a new baby coming, their first baby. And so I hope they enjoy this memory. I had a ton of fun planning this event, and I look forward to more future fun events.
Hey, where'd he go? Oh! Oh yeah, she loves balloons. She'll laugh.
Let her see. Careful, you'll pop it.
You'll pop it with those nails.